The Act of Creation, Insights from Neville Goddard's Awakened Imagination. Have you ever pondered the profound role of imagination in our existence, its influence on our lives, and our ability to innovate and create? The esteemed poet William Blake held the conviction that imagination is the core of human existence and the gateway to forging new conditions and possibilities. In this presentation, we delve into the mind of Blake, unraveling his perceptions about imagination and the essence of personal identity. We uncover how imagination empowers us to envision new realms and reshape the world we inhabit. Moreover, we examine the significance of self-realization and love on our individual odyssey. Ensure you view this video in its entirety to grasp how imagination can assist you in realizing your aspirations and ambitions. If this material resonates with you, please remember to subscribe and pass it on to someone who might draw inspiration from these concepts. Together, let's stir our imaginations and craft a brighter future. Always bear in mind that knowledge is a treasure that remains secure within you, and action is the pivotal step to actualizing the knowledge acquired. Embark on applying what you discover here, today. My gratitude extends to everyone. I represent the Alpha and the Omega. Nothing forthcoming hasn't already transpired and exists. Blake perceived all conceivable human scenarios as pre-existing states. He regarded each nuance, narrative, and drama as preconceived, simply waiting for our participation to become vivid realities, and thus described these states as sculptures within the halls of light, differentiating states from individual entities. While the states may shift, individual identities remain constant and eternal. Imagination, Blake asserted, is not merely a state, it is the very essence of our being. It only becomes a state when it is disjoined from our essential self. The significance of this realization is paramount, and that moment when an individual first comes to this understanding marks a pivotal point in their life. To encourage someone to feel this truth is perhaps the most profound support one can offer. This truth is universal, yet the conscious acknowledgement of it, and even more so the self-recognition of it, is exceptionally rare. The day I came to the profound realization that my world is a reflection of the mental activities within me, and that the circumstances of my life are merely mirrors of the state of consciousness with which I am in union, was the most transformative day of my existence. The experience that led to this insight was so distant from ordinary experience that it was met with skepticism by many. Even my own reason struggled to accept the implications of my experience. Nonetheless, this experience unveiled to me my sovereignty within the realm of my consciousness, affirming that it is the state with which I identify that dictates my experiences. Therefore, this knowledge must be disseminated to all, for understanding this liberates one from the greatest delusion of the world, the belief in a secondary cause. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are those whose imagination has been untangled from the snare of secondary causes since childhood, for they recognize that imagination is the root of all and that all springs from the imagination. One day, I silently transitioned from my apartment in New York City to the serene countryside of an era long past. Upon entering the dining hall of a grand inn, I was struck with full awareness. I was cognizant that my physical form lay dormant in my New York bed. Yet here I was, as conscious and alert as I'd ever been. It dawned on me that if I could still the workings of my mind, the entire scene before me would halt. As this thought emerged, the urge to test it was irresistible. I felt a contraction in my head, a solidifying into stillness. My focus sharpened to a singular point, the waitress mid-step, the leaves mid-fall, the family mid-meal. As I relaxed my concentration, everything resumed its natural course, the leaves fluttered to the ground, the waitress continued her path, and the family carried on dining. In that moment, I understood Blake's depiction of the sculptures in the halls of light. I sent you to reap what you have not worked for. Creation is already complete. I am the Alpha and the Omega, there is nothing forthcoming that hasn't already occurred and does not already exist. The world of creation is whole, and its blueprint resides within us. We heard it before our departure, and since then, our endeavor has been to recollect and partake in sessions of it. Our mission is to attain the correct vision by deliberately directing our attention, orchestrating it to parade before the inner eye. If we arrange the appropriate sequence and immerse ourselves in imagination until it holds the weight of reality, then we consciously craft our circumstances. This inward procession is the labor of the imagination, which we must consciously steer. Through a succession of mental evolutions, we become aware of ever-increasing segments of what already exists, fusing our mental activity with the portion of creation we desire to experience. We ignite, reawaken, and engage with life. My experience not only revealed the world as a manifestation of the individual observer's mental activity but also laid bare our temporal journey as leaps of attention across eternal instants. An immeasurable chasm separates any two moments of existence. Through the maneuvers of our attention, we breathe life into the sculptures in the halls of light. Envision the world as comprising an infinite array of consciousness states available for observation. Picture these states as chambers or dwellings within the divine abode, and like the rooms of any home, they are static relative to one another. Envision your true self, the imaginative you, as the living, stationary occupant of this divine residence. Each chamber houses numerous light sculptures with unending narratives, dramas, and intricate scenarios, all inactive. They spring to life the moment human imagination enters the scene alongside them. Each represents distinct mental and emotional acts. To inhabit a state, one must assent to its associated ideas and emotions. These states embody limitless potential mental shifts that a person may undergo. Transitioning to a different state or dwelling necessitates a consciousness shift. Everything you desire already exists, awaiting alignment with your beliefs. Yet, this alignment is imperative, for it is the sole prerequisite for the state's activation and manifestation. Merging the elements of a state is akin to finding the right rhythm, unlocking the door, and the request granted, you enter its domain. The moment one harmonizes with the fabric of any state, they become one with it. This union results in the activation and externalization of its narratives, strategies, dramas, and scenarios. It transforms into the individual's vantage point from which they perceive the world. Here lies your workshop. If you are but an observer, witness the external reality taking shape according to the blueprint of your imagination. The purpose behind our immersion in sensory limitations and our embodiment in flesh is to train us in the art of imagination. It is the awakening of the imagination, the homecoming of the prodigal son, that our Father anticipates. The creature was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of the one who subjected it in hope. The victory of the Son, the return of the prodigal, ensures the creature's liberation from the decay of subjugation to the splendid liberation of God's children. We have ventured through this biological experience because no one can truly know imagination who has not navigated the vanities and constraints of the flesh, who has not partaken in the wayward journey and become the prodigal, who has not lived through and proved the breadth and convolution of experience. It will persist until humankind awakens to an imagination-centric vision of life, is restored to its rightful place, and recognized as fundamental. I am tasked with proclaiming the inscrutable riches of Christ and enlightening all to the fellowship of the mystery concealed in God, who created all things through Jesus Christ. Bear in mind that Christ within you symbolizes your imagination, just as the state of our world is shaped by the state of consciousness with which we are merged. We can chart our individual destinies by fusing our imagination with the ideals we yearn to actualize. The contrast between our states of consciousness delineates the distinction within the circumstances and conditions of our lives. The man who freely selects his state often finds himself pleading for salvation from his chosen state, and you will cry out on that day due to your self-chosen sovereign, but the Lord will not heed you then. Yet, the people rejected the counsel of Samuel, proclaiming, "No, a king shall rule over us." Choose with discernment the state you will commit to. All states remain inert until imagination breathes life into them. I reiterate, select with care the state you will devote yourself to. All states remain dormant until intertwined with imagination. All things, once acknowledged, are revealed by light, for everything made manifest is light, and you are the world's luminescence, through which the ideas you affirm are materialized. Hold steadfast to your ideal, nothing can strip it from you save for your imagination. Do not merely ponder your ideal, inhabit it. Only the ideals from which you operate materialize. Man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God, and God's mouth is the mind of man. Imbibe and savor the ideals you wish to bring to fruition. Possess a clear and resolute aim, or your mind will meander, absorbing all negative impressions. If your mental existence is prosperous, all else will follow suit. A shift in mental nourishment can redirect the flow of observable events. Yet, absent a change in mental sustenance, your personal narrative remains static. You can illuminate or obscure your life through the ideas you embrace. Nothing holds greater significance for you than the ideas upon which you feast, and you dine on the ideas that occupy your thoughts. Should you find the world unaltered, it is a testament to your infidelity to the new mental regime, which you forsake at the expense of your surroundings. A persistent mental state is required. You can evolve into whatever you envision, the routine pattern. Any concept that monopolizes the field of attention will manifest in action. The notions and emotional states to which you habitually return delineate the state with which you are amalgamated. Hence, discipline yourself to more frequently inhabit the sensation of your desire fulfilled. This is the crux of creative potency. It is the method to converge with the desired state. If you more often entertain the sentiment that your desire is realized, you would command your fate. Regrettably, you have relinquished this stance for the majority of time. After assuming the sensation of the wish fulfilled, practice making it tangible to your senses. Do not conclude the experience as one would shut a book, rather, let it waft around you like a fragrant aroma. Instead of allowing it to fade from memory, permit it to subtly pervade the atmosphere, subtly guiding your actions and responses. A mood, once frequently revisited, gains a momentum challenging to disrupt or steer, so be vigilant of the emotions you cultivate. The constant whispers of your heart reveal the state with which you are intertwined. It is always feasible to cease contemplating the goal you seek to accomplish and begin living from the end point, but the essential aspect is to think from the conclusion. To think from the end signifies a fusion with the concept, while to think about the end implies a division, the thinker and the thought. You must envisage yourself within the state of your fulfilled desire and cherish that state. In doing so, exist and conceive from that state, not merely about it. Shift from contemplation to experiential thinking, embedding your imagination within the sensation of the wish fulfilled. I trust you found value in this video and that it served as a guidepost. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do so now, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss our forthcoming content. Don't forget to like this video to support our ongoing creation of relevant and captivating material for you. If you have appreciated this video, please share it with your network so that they, too, might benefit from these insights. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to welcoming you to our next video.